Hi everyone, I'm Alice from Simply Dynamics and welcome to our webinar today on SD Credit Controller.
The Credit Controller is available to download from AppSource, our extension marketplace, and you can avail of a 30-day free trial of Credit Controller with no need to enter any credit card details or payment details. So here I've just done a search in extension marketplace for SD Credit Controller, and you can see here on the AppSource page we have an overview video, and if you scroll down here we have a user guide which you can download and use to get started with your free 30-day trial. So when you have downloaded the app in your sandbox environment for the free trial, you could just go to the setup card and you'll see a prompt asking you to activate the free trial on the Role Center, or else you can go into the setup card here, you can click on that product activation action here, and you can just enter in your company name and your email. You'll just hit free trial. You'll see a product key populating here with the trial, and the expiry date will be 30 days. So again, you can see there's no credit card details needed at all. And once you have that done, you can just click your assisted setup action here, and that will import some demo data for you just to get you started using SD Credit Controller. Okay, so that just gives you an idea just of how quick and easy it is just to download and use the free trial, and you could just have a look at it in a sandbox environment. Okay, so today, just to let you know, I'm demoing Credit Controller on a local container on my laptop here, so sometimes it can be a bit laggy, so apologies now, just with people logged in on Teams as well. My machine can get a bit slow, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be okay. So we're here in the Role Center, in the Manager Role Center in SD Credit Controller, and SD Credit Controller provides effective credit control management in Business Central, and it allows you so as to gain control of and track all your customer balances and gain a clear overview of your balances in the one place, and helps to enhance your debt collection process. So the role centers here, we have 3 role centers: a manager role center, which I'm in at the moment, or sorry, an admin role center, which I'm in at the moment. Then we have a manager role center, credit controller manager role center, and then a role center designed for the use of an individual credit controller. So the role centers, all 3 of them, they're designed to present the most important information to the credit controller in a clear and simple manner. And from here, you can access all your everyday credit control tasks. So we'll just drill through here into the customer list. And again, just credit controller, it enhances your debt collection and credit control processes. We've got automation for internal tasks, various internal tasks. I'll show you some of them as we're going through the demo. And you can see here, sorry, back out to the list. You can see here, we've just surfaced some credit control activities here. And these are ones here. You can assign your credit controller to your individual customers, and we have our different credit control processes here, which can be run here from actions, or which can be automated using job queues. So you can automate to run your age analysis and your performance ratings. And here you can also create, an action automatically creates actions for your credit controllers, say for when an invoice is overdue. So with a just quick click there, it can create these actions for you. So you can also easily track and log communications with your individual customers by creating actions. And you can log an action against an individual customer or against a specific customer ledger entry. So if we just want to create, oh, sorry, not new customer, new action. We create a new action for this Canon Group customer. So we can give it a due date. So you might want to give them a call on Friday. And it might be just a general follow-up. Of outstanding invoices. So whatever you want to put your comment in there. You can relate it to a particular customer ledger entry. And just click OK, and that'll sit there as an action for you then back out in your role center. You can also see here, say an existing action, it highlights overdue ones in red, ones due for today in this color, a kind of a orangey color, and the other ones in the future aren't highlighted. So again, it just gives you a visual quick look to see what actions are overdue and the state of your actions. So say we could maybe decide to give a promised amount. You might give a call to a customer. You've been talking to them about, say, a particular invoice, a particular ledger entry number. They owe this amount, so maybe they might say, look, we'll pay 400 by the end of the week. So you can just log there that they're going to give you a promised amount. And that's also then reflected out in your role center in one of the KPIs. Okay, so that's just how to quickly add your actions against your customer or against your specific customer ledger entry. So in Credit Controller, you can assign your customers to a specific credit controller, and then you can also assign credit controllers to a credit control team. Just to mention again out here in the list, you can see we have the various customer details with all the aging, various categories that you can assign to your individual customer, and fact box there just to show the aging details. So if we just take a quick look, say, at this customer card, and we have surfaced a credit control fast tab on the standard customer card. So these actions here, they just allow you, the fields, they just allow you to group and classify your customers with just various credit categories and various classifications that you can set up in Credit Controller just to organize and group your customers. You can also set risk category codes and things like that. You can also see again just your aging details for your customer in the fact box here. And I'll just show you now back here. You can also see into the ledger entries, and you can mark a customer ledger entry as in dispute, and you could assign a litigation category against it. So these are all the customer ledger entries, and they're taken from the standard Business Central customer ledger entry table, and they're synced and placed into a Credit Controller customer ledger entry table. So this is what you're modifying here. You're updating the Credit Controller customer ledger entry table. So here we could just say we mark this as in dispute. You could create an action. We can just say no to that. I've shown you the actions already. For example, maybe we'll just go with this one, and that's been updated there. So you've marked that as in dispute, and then you can just cancel the in dispute then as well when it's been resolved. Okay, so that's I suppose, a brief overview there of the field surface there in the customer card and your Credit Controller customer ledger entries in here. Okay, so if we just go back to the role center, and here in the role center, we can see our various KPIs that highlight performance by Credit Controller. So here I'm in the administrator role center, but if you were a manager of a team of credit controllers, you'd use the manager role center, and you could see all the actions just filtered down for your team and for your own actions in that role center. So we also have the feature here in Credit Controller of repayment plans. where you can set up a repayment plan for a customer for an agreed amount to pay off an agreed amount over an agreed period of time. So you can just log that here. So for example, you can say that every month for this customer here, we've agreed that they're going to pay off €100. And you can generate your journal lines and post them from here then easily once the payment has been made. So again, that's just a KPI that's been surfaced here out in the role center. And you can see any repayment plans that are overdue, anything that's due for today. So if you need to give your customer a call. And these promised amounts here, that was the promised amount that I entered on the action earlier, and that your customer has promised, yeah, we'll pay you this amount today. So there again, you have a KPI that you know you can follow up on that today. Okay, so I'm also just going to show you here how in Credit Controller you can set up a manager company and managed companies. So for your environments where you may have more than one company, you can set up a manager company. And for any additional companies in your environment, they can be managed companies. Now, if you had 5 companies in your environment, all these 5 companies could stand alone. So they'd each be a managed company. But if you want to decide that one company is a manager company, you can set it up in this way. So once you set up a managed company, all the customer ledger entries in your managed company, so for example, in this company here, this Cronus company, they're all synced up into our credit controller customer ledger entry table up in the managed company. So you have visibility there of your customer ledger entries in all your companies. So I'll show you how you can view that now in a minute. And all of the data copied up, it's maintained in the manager company. So you can also sync fields from your manager company down to your managed company. So you might want to decide, look, I want all my customer names and the addresses and phone numbers that I enter in the managed company to sync down to my managed company. So you can set them up here. And that's you can set those up just for the customer card only. And also you can choose to sync by standard in Credit Controller, anything that you set in the customer card in the managed company. So for these fields, specifically your blocked field, payment terms code, payment method code, they're all synced down from your manager company to your managed company. And this syncing is kind of done automatically at various stages during the use of the SD Credit Controller. So when you go into your Credit Controller card, your Credit Controller list, the customer ledger entries are synced. Okay, so if I just show you again, just briefly back here, where you can view the customer ledger entries in your companies. Back here again, credit control ledger entries. So where I showed you before marking how to mark a ledger entry is in dispute, you can see here that you have your Cronus International company, and you can choose your other company. So you can access it all from the one place, or you can view all ledger entries from your managed, so that's the manager company and the managed company in one place. Okay, so I suppose the final thing I'll show you today in SD Credit Controller is just the idea of workflows and templates that we have. So with SD Credit Controller, you can define automatic workflow processes, and you can create rules which allow you to create actions automatically and create and issue reminders or send an email from SD Credit Controller. So I've just done up some workflows here. We'll go in and we'll take a look. And the workflows can have different types of workflows. It can be a type of action, a type of reminder, or a type of email. So this one here, so we have action reminder and email. This one here is a workflow of type reminder. So with this workflow, you can set up and filter down on the customer ledger entries to specific reminder term code and document types if you want to issue your reminders. So what this does is when the workflow is run for anything that's overdue for a day, it's going to create a standard Business Central reminder and issue it. If you have this option on, it'll issue the reminder on creation of the reminder. And what you can also do then is create an action once the reminder has been issued for your credit controllers to actually send the reminders, because as you know, in standard Business Central, your reminder is issued, but you still then have to print it off or email it to your customer. So you can create an action and create a template for the action, which we'll just go into here now. And this template here that you can associate with that action, it's just, you could just give it a code, a description, its type of action, give a due date for the action, and you can just log some content here. So the reminders were issued, remember to send the reminders out to your customer. So once that workflow then is run, you'll have your standard Business Central reminders will be created. They'll be issued because we've created this, selected this option here. And then when they've been issued, an action then is created for your credit controller, an action just to remind them to send out the reminders. And if you want to do a second reminder, again, second reminder, you'll just set the reminder level number to 1 because that's what you're searching for in your customer ledger entry. Might have an overdue deadline of 14 days. Issue your reminder again. Maybe you might not want to create an action, so the option is there. So that's how you'd send out issue the reminders workflow. The actions, again, so you could create actions for all your credit controllers for anything that's overdue by 7 days, and you're going to create an action for your credit controller. And you can use your template code. And using this template code, you can set the day that the action is going to be due. Again, you can put some text into the action, so when the credit controller opens it, they can see there what they have to do. And then when that workflow was run, again, it's going to create the actions for the reminder, and it'll do that the 7 days. Let's say every 7 days, if there's an action an item in the customer ledger entry that's overdue, it's going to create an action for your credit controller. And then finally here we have our email workflow. So with our email workflow, what you can do is you can set a workflow to generate emails to send to your customers. I suppose giving them a reminder that what's due for collection, what's overdue. So here we're going to filter things down. Anything that's overdue by 7 days, filtered it down to an invoice. You're going to want to send out an email to them. So it runs through, credit controller runs through all the customer ledger entries that would be overdue by 7 days of type invoice. But if you had, say, 50 overdue invoices, you don't want to send out 50 emails to your customer, so you can choose to consolidate the emails into the one email. And for this one, we've used this template here. And in our email templates, you can just put in placeholders. So we put in an update for the customer and just say, hi, your customer contact. And then setting up the template this way, you can have a list here appearing of all the invoices with the remaining amounts and the due date here. And it'll just put it out in a grid format. So once you've run that workflow, those reminders aren't issued straight away. They're actually placed here in an email queue. So and you can review them then in the email queue, your emails, before you send them out. Okay, so that's it, kind of a brief enough overview of credit controller processes. You can see here, I suppose I showed you how you can create your actions with your KPIs here. You can see all your incomplete actions that are due, any repayment plans. You can see your overdue balances, any of your customers that are over their credit limit, anything in dispute. And you can see all your actions that are logged here in your role center. So you've got the one, I suppose, the one place from where you can carry out all your credit controller activities, kind of helping you to enhance your debt collection process. Okay, so thanks for your time. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to take them, or if you wanted to email us in with anything that you can think of later, it's good for us as well.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Alice.
Okay,
Very informative.